Welcome to Fieldsports Britain. Coming up, it's high-tech hunting. Forget bunny-hugging economy, it's bunny-bashing stealth. Dom test drives the first four-wheel drive hybrid plug-in. Is it eco-friendly or eco-warrior? We have lots of feral pigs and wild boar in hunting YouTube. There's Hallo Charlie. And in news, the RSPB shows support for shooting. I know. First, Lyme disease is the scourge of deer stalking, forest rangering and even the infantry. So how do you stop the ticks that cause it? We've been to Belgium to see what goes into modern day military kit.
We are an hour outside Brussels at Europe's biggest cotton mill. Here the versatile natural fibre is turned into millions of yards of fabric. Some will end up as jeans, t-shirts, maybe tents, but some will be heading into multi-million euro machines like this one for a treatment that will make it indispensable to the sorts of people who wear this kind of thing. Henk van den Driesche has been developing technical clothing for the military for 20 years. Its purpose? To stop insects, no matter where in the world, from making soldiers sick.
We started in the mid-90s when we were asked by the French army to come up with a solution. They had a lot of soldiers coming back from Chad with malaria, and things started there when we started to finish camouflage fabrics for the French army with purely permethrin at the time. And we've come a long way since then. We've learned a lot.
Scientists, technicians, the military and many millions of euros have all got the fabric to the point that it's now worn by hundreds of thousands of soldiers across Europe, including the German army.
We've been approved again by the German military as being the only product which is safe to wear. About 200,000 people are wearing it every day without one single complaint, reducing the tick infestation by 99.6%. They've had 5 tick bites in 1 year. And the whole army, that's nothing. Yeah, that's what we're doing for the moment.
So if it's good enough for the military, it must be good enough for those just as likely to be exposed to ticks and mosquitoes like rangers, forestry workers and of course hunters. This is why we're here, because the clothing company Rovins has taken the technology and designed and developed clothing to protect people working and playing in the countryside.
The main thing why we use the Utex Bell fabric is they guarantee us the quality looking at human health and the balance between human health and the bioactivity on ticks. So it works in practice under different professional circumstances. But besides, it is harmless for nature and also for humans. And that's an important topic for us for choosing the supplier who licenses the main fabric for our total production.
We are now in the Netherlands in September. We're in a park. As you would expect, it's used by cyclists, walkers and families every day of the year. Someone who is clearly not doing any of these activities is Darren Bullock. He distributes Rovins clothing in the UK. He and Rovins co-founder Rob Nijhuis are busy hunting the hunters. By wiping these sheets across the ground, they're hoping to show us just how prevalent the ticks are here.
We've just done about 10 metres there and we've picked up about, I think there's maybe 8 or 10 in there now, both male and female. And you can see from this sort of environment, this is a recreational area as well as a hunting ground. There's people walking through here, people riding their bikes through here and enjoying the countryside, and that's what we've just picked up.
Our collection is building and it includes all stages of the life cycle.
You have 4 stages. The first one is the larva, will come out the egg, and the larva one is not infected. But then they need a brood meal, and then he will turn into a nymph, and that one can be causes Lyme borreliose. We are searching now for 20 minutes, and I have already 1, 2, 3, 8 ticks. These are all females. They are looking for a soft place on my skin, on my body, and then they bite into my skin. They have a mouth, it's looking like a chainsaw. Then they're grabbing in my skin. Then they they take a blood meal.
So as they're feeding, the blood goes both ways, and then obviously that's when infection can be transmitted even more, because obviously as they suck in, there's blood going both ways with the pressure in the body. And then once they're full and they've had their total feed, then obviously that's when they drop off to carry on to the next life cycle, whatever cycle that would be, depending on the age of the tick.
With our collection of fresh ticks, Darren and Rob can illustrate how the Rovents clothing works.
Now we're going to put a pair of the trousers down just to show the difference and to show the effect clothing has on the ticks, which offers the protection. As soon as the tick touches the fabric, it gets the reaction from the permethrin. It's important to say at this point that it doesn't just get the hot feet effect, it affects the nervous system of the tick, and as soon as it hits the fabric, the nervous system shuts down and it disables its tools to bite you with. So in effect, as soon as it touches the fabric, it can't bite. Even if it gets onto the skin after it's been on the clothing, its weapons are shut down and it cannot bite. That's what makes it so effective. In fact, tests have proven it to be 98% effective. So it's a very, very effective protection.
The insects are clearly disorientated and certainly in no mood to bite. European governments take ticks very seriously, investing in scientific studies to monitor tick populations. Fedor Gassner has been getting to grips with ticks for the last 9 years. He believes that a changing climate is playing into the grasping jaws of the tick.
Tick populations are doing quite well in Europe at this moment. They're making a profit out of climate change. Not only that it's getting warmer, but the growing season for ticks is getting longer and longer, which effectively means ticks have more days per year to bite humans.
Awareness of ticks and tick-borne diseases such as Lyme disease is increasing in places like the UK. Across Europe, April is the start of the tick season, with the insects emerging looking for a host. Rob chats with a dog walker and a cyclist about ticks. They are aware of them but don't seem that concerned.
In the Netherlands only, you get tens of thousands of cases of Lyme disease every year. And it's on the rise for a couple of years, and we don't know where it's going. It's not only that we're educating people better so they go to the physician earlier, but it's also that in nature things are happening at this moment. And we see also in the UK, in Belgium, in Germany, that Lyme borreliosis, Lyme disease, is on the rise. And there are more diseases that are caused by ticks. For example, tick-borne encephalitis.
Back in the factory, we're shown the testing that goes into ensuring the fabric for the military and Rovents retains its effectiveness with washes and exposure to sunlight. The best endorsement Hank has for his technical fabric is what the forces call drop and forget. It's all about confidence in your kit.
A soldier gets the uniform and he just gets on with it. He doesn't get bitten anymore. And then they get on with other stuff, their real work. The real work is not to protect them against insects. Their job is something else.
It's this conviction that convinced Vincent and Rob that this was the fabric to use in their hunting and work clothing. It's also personal. A few years ago, Vincent contracted Lyme disease. This has been the driving force behind the company. Prevention is better than cure.
The main thing for us as a company is protecting people against the danger of ticks. We do it in two ways. Firstly is informing people about the tick with the latest information there is. Secondly, of course, developing protection wear they could use in professional circumstances.
Foresters, estate workers and hunters demand a lot from their clothing. It's reassuring that when the midges are maddening in Scotland or the mosquitoes are hellish in Florida, there's kit that will protect you from insects. And it's been there and proved itself already on the back of a soldier. For more information about Rovents clothing, go to rovents.co.uk.
Thank you to the Rovents guys for that. And if you want to see us go deer stalking in Rovents kit, click on the screen that's appeared magically up there behind me. Just thinking about it makes you want to... Now to someone else who is a source of irritation. It's David on the Fieldsports channel News Stump.
This is Fieldsports Channel News. The boss of the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds has come out in favour of shooting. After years of working with pro shooting organisations but publicly condemning the sport, the RSPB has finally admitted that progressive shoots are good for the countryside because of the conservation work they carry out. Antis are furious and say they will cancel their RSPB membership. Basque praises the RSPB for putting long-term conservation goals before short-term politicised campaigning. Radio stations in Malta playing an anti-hunting song have offended the Maltese Broadcasting Authority. The official song for the Shout campaign against spring hunting exhorts listeners to vote no to spring hunting in the upcoming referendum on the 11th of April. The BA rules that the pro-spring hunting lobby should be given the same opportunity to make its case on the radio stations. A left-wing MP in Denmark is torn between his hatred of Danish hunters and his loathing of the Danish royal family. Denmark's royals have long enjoyed the right to hunt freely in 214 of the country's best forests, with the cost being borne by the government nature agency. In a compromise of his own principles, Per Clausen MP is calling for the royal family to pay for their own hunts. These pictures show how keen hunters Crown Prince Frederick and his mother Queen Margareta, whom it is political suicide to criticise. The online global hunting community Yes We Hunt has closed its website. Yes We Hunt, which organised hunts all over the world for its members, plans to continue via hunting magazines and social media platforms in the future. Another Australian media personality has apologised for posing with dead animals. Former pop star Sophie Monk posted this picture of herself with the caption, "This little piggy went to market, and this little piggy, well, ... She now says she didn't mean to offend anyone. The Texan who won a hunting auction to shoot a black rhino has been allowed to bring the trophy home. US Fish and Wildlife Service says importing the carcass from Namibia will benefit conservation. The Dallas Safari Club sold the hunt for $350,000 to Corey Knowlton. One animal rights group plans to file a lawsuit against the American government's decision. In this film, Knowlton is being interviewed on a YouTube channel called The Young Turks. For the second time in 10 years, Antis have asked voters in the US state of Maine to ban bear hunting. And for the second time, Antis have lost the vote. So now they want to ask the question a third time. They're doing it by taking the state's wildlife department to court. Money is not a problem for these Antis. They've already spent more than $2.5 million on their campaign. And finally, you should make the most of the UK roebuck season starting the 1st of April. Why? Well, if the Lynx UK Trust has its way, roe stalkers will be competing for deer with big cats, which the Trust wants to reintroduce to the British Isles after an absence of about 1,300 years. The Trust is trying to get the UK government interested in the idea. This film shows a woman calling kitty kitty to an American lynx outside a post office in Ontario. The film does not show whether her action results in the animal being run over. You are now up to date with Fieldsports Channel News. Stalking the stories, fishing for fat.
Thank you, David. Now let's see what you lot have been up to. It is Hallo Charlie.
Hello Charlie, Andy here. Williams Red Card, Western Australia, fox shoot. 43 foxes and 1 cat. Just doing our bit for Australia and its wildlife.
Hello Charlie, John here. Travelled all the way up from Bristol up to Lincolnshire for a hare shoot. Looks like it's going to be a good day.
Hello Charlie. As you can see, it's been another successful Saturday morning. I spent the last 5-6 hours sitting in a hide trying to decoy in some hooded crows. And I've managed to get 4 in the bag from my efforts using my 30 foot-pound .22, the Oban MFR. And coming up the lambing season like it is, the farmer will be gay pleased about it. So enjoying the show so far, so keep her lit, hey.
Hello Charlie, Rick Tinsley near Fort Knox, Kentucky, doing a little bass fishing today. Not a super great amount of luck, but it's a beautiful day and we're having a great time.
Hello Charlie, this is Bill in Arizona. I bet you didn't know this. We actually have a small huntable population of wild elephants here in Arizona. And I've got my Ruger number 1 450-400 Nitro Express and I'm out hunting them right now.
Hello Charlie, we've been pigeon shooting this morning. We caught one, or shot one rather, caught one. We shot one and now we're cooking it for breakfast. Look at this. Perfect.
Right Charlie.
Hey Bill, there's one.
Hello Charlie, it's me Nick once again. Recently I went to the Montreal Hunting and Fishing Show. It's the biggest show we have all year round with everything you could desire for hunting, fishing, trapping, sport shooting, anything, it's all there. Last year I saw the carp fishing booth, which was ignored over the course of 4 days. The reason for this is because carp fishing is still not big in Canada, even though we have an insane carp fishery across the country. And the reason for that, sadly, is that we believe that carp is a trash fish. This year, thankfully, it's a lot more popular with the booth doing a lot better. Perhaps you guys can come next year and give the Canadian Carp Club a bit of promotion. And hey, if you do come over the pond, I'll buy you each a pint.
Hello Charlie, it's Brad and Will, out night shooting in Sussex.
Another good result. Happy hunting, y'all!
Hello Charlie, this is Hunt Ready. Just out doing a bit of bunny bashing. Hoping to see most of your viewers at the game fairs this year.
Hello Charlie, it's Callum here. Just popping off some pigeons with the old 177. Cheers Charlie, bye.
Hello Charlie, Freddie here in Suffolk. Just finished today's pigeon shooting. Not a massive bag, but at least I kept the pigeons off the field, so the farmer will be happy.
Hello Charlie, Eddie off Lampy Foxes, and it's Lampy Foxes on tour in Africa.
Hi Charlie, it's Nathan here from Lampy Foxes.
It's been a long march from Sawari Game Lodge, South Africa.
That's it. Please send me your Hello Charlies via Facebook, YouTube, Dropbox or email charlie@fieldsportschannel.tv. Thank you for those. Please keep them coming. Now, continuing with the high-tech hunting theme, we've given Dom the silent treatment. He's test driving the Mitsubishi Browning Outlander PHEV. It's clean, but is it mean?
I'm not going to lie to you, I don't like eco cars. I spent a lot of years driving around in some of the world's fastest cars and they were brilliant. What I hate is the Toyota Prius, milk floats, golf carts, all those things, they're rubbish. Hate them, hate them, hate them. Until now, when finally you can get a car that delivers everything you want without compromise, but best of all, it costs almost nothing to fuel up, almost nothing to commute, no road tax, no congestion charge, massive MPG. What's not to like? So peaceful. We've already bumped about 3 deer on the drive over. In fact, it's so quiet that Mitsubishi have fitted a special device down here that actually adds sound so that pedestrians know that you're approaching, because if they don't hear the car coming off and they don't know they're going to about to get knocked over by David on his shopping trip to Waitrose. So the car in question is the new Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV, plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. Basically it's the same as the other Outlander that's within the range. It costs the same money, including a £5,000 grant from the government. It looks the same. Everything about it's the same. You know, it's a nice family car, looks nice, practical, efficient, everything you could like. You probably recognise one of these from your own car. That's where the petrol goes in, but this one is a little bit different because it's got one on the other side as well. And inside, probably less familiar with one of these, plug-in charging system. This one plugs into a normal domestic socket. This one is for a fast charge system, and it costs as little as £1.20 to charge it up. And when it's charged up, you get about 30 miles off battery power alone. So if your daily commute is 15 miles each way, all you have to do is charge it up when you get home. If you've got a charging point at the office or the estate or wherever it is you're going, you can charge it there, just plug it in, away you go. So for a lot of people, they'll find they'll never have to use petrol. So there's a lot going for it as a normal car, but what about field sports specific applications? The first thing, so quiet.
if you're up early and out early, people aren't going to hear your car, you're not going to disturb the family. If you're around livestock or pheasant pens, you're not going to be causing a disturbance with a noisy two-stroke engine or a noisy diesel clatter. It just doesn't make any noise, it is whisper quiet. We're going to have a bit of fun tonight. We're going to go after some rabbits and go and see what it's like as a night shooting vehicle, because at the end of the day, fitted with these knobbly Goodrich all-terrains which Furs Garage have put on it as part of their conversion, it gets around really well. Not massive ground clearance, but actually it gets around pretty well off-road. You know, if you're a stalker, if you want to, you know, if you're operating in areas where you don't want to cause a kerfuffle, you know, either very early in the morning or late at night, excellent. And if you're in a state and you want to prove your green credentials, but you don't want to upset your keeper by giving them something that's not going to do the job, this might be a good choice. One of the things you notice really quickly is how easy it is to drive in electric mode, especially if you're kind of off-road or you're manoeuvring at slow speed, because you don't have to worry about clutch or anything like that. You don't have to worry about getting the revs up, or if you're off boost, the turbo's not kicking in, it's not giving you much torque. It's just instant grunt. You can really delicately measure out your throttle inputs, and it just makes it really easy to drive. As soon as you ask for maximum acceleration, once it's kind of past the limits of the performance of the electric motor, the petrol engine kicks in seamlessly. You're not going to feel a sudden change between the electric power and the petrol power when you're driving on the motorway. If you need to overtake a car and you're pottering along in electric mode, as soon as you demand that performance, the petrol engine will kick in, bosh, away you go. Okay, so we've been pretty enthusiastic about this machine. There's a lot to be said for the package of features that it offers, and there's no doubt that electric power is coming. Mr. Digweed himself has found that his electric Polaris has improved his foxing performance. As battery technology improves year by year, these are going to become more viable, the range is going to increase, the compromises are going to become less and less, and there is still incentive from the government in terms of subsidising the cost of electric vehicles. I can't see why, if you fit the demographic that this is aimed at, you should consider anything else.
Dom has been testing the special edition Mitsubishi Browning PHEV offered exclusively by the Furs Garage in Oxfordshire, who incidentally have just won Mitsubishi's UK Dealer of the Year for the second year in a row. Prices for the PHEV Outlander start from just over 28,000 quid, which is Forester and Qashqai money, and includes the £5,000 government plug-in grant. For more information, please go to bit.ly/BrowningCars. Next week we try and convince Andy Crow that it's in fact powered by fairy dust. The Fieldsports channel Browning Outlander is back with Furs Garage, and if you want to take a test drive in it, maybe find one of Crowman's spent shell cases that David luckily found just before he dropped it off, then why not get in touch with them via the link on the screen. It really does change the way you drive. Now, from changing the world to keeping it hunting and shooting, it is Hunting YouTube. This is Hunting YouTube, which aims to show the best hunting and shooting videos that YouTube has to offer. Aussie country music legend Steve I Like Guns Lee is out contract shooting feral pigs in western New South Wales. This is part one of 4 films that see him knocking over more than 100 animals. Moving back to more classical boar hunting, Spanish filmmaker Revax is covering a driven day in Coursillac, southern France. Any region of France ending "ac" is pretty good for hunting. Staying in France, and weirdly named French channel Felu has produced its latest film about the recent boar hunting season and other gross gibiers. That's big game in the Vosges region. Eric Coretti is in the Loire and Solignac for the second part of his 2015 hunting tour films. It's a lot of French but easy to follow, and some lovely duck shooting. Also, wildfowling Stockport Fleet in the Low Countries has added English subtitles to his goose shooting film. Click on CC close captioning to find out what's going on. We are in Canada, where the Dartman 76 styles himself the A-team of vermin control, and at 1,310 yards on a coyote, that is plausible. Much closer to the camera, it's in Spanish, but interesting to see how other people do it. Juan de Dios Bonilla is a Spaniard bolting foxes with a terrier. And finally, couldn't resist this. It's Saturday Night Live's spoof remake of the trailer for the possible Disney Bambi remake. Keeping up, all you need to know is that when I was a boy, they took my mother. Now it's time for the Tanglewood Hunting Club to pay. That's it for this week. If you have a YouTube film you would like us to pop into the weekly top 8, send it in via YouTube or email me the link charlie@fieldsportschannel.tv. If you don't like those, maybe you'll like this. This episode of our airgun show Airheads is all about pushing the limits of airgunning. Darren Rogers has the one and only Eagle-Eye HD video recorder in the country, which he's using on a rat and squirrel hunt. Roger Late starts off his new series about the ABC of HFT, showing how to set up a new airgun. Plus we have the Hot Air news service and air streaming showcasing the best of YouTube. Next up, fox shooters sit up. Mike Powell says what he reckons are the best bullets for vermin control.
I use a 223, that's my normal choice of foxing round. It's easy to reload. For those who don't reload, I can understand why they don't. It does the job. Very accurate round, out to all sensible ranges and beyond, in fact. Next we have the 22 Hornet, particularly a favourite of mine. A nice little round, good for foxes. It will kill out to 200 yards. I'd limit to probably 150, 175 yards for a 22 Hornet. 17 Hornet, a little centre fire, a very fast round. It's not a general purpose round if you want to eat what you shoot, and I'm not referring to foxes. Rabbits, it is inclined to blow them to pieces. I'm never quite sure where it fits in because it doesn't do the job as well as a 223. It does the job better but more destructively than a 17 HMR. But it's an interesting round, a fun round. 17 HMR, cracking little round for rabbits, will take a fox down out to 110. There are those who say they've shot them out to 170 yards, but I think that's plenty far enough for that little round. I would limit myself to about 120 yards. Rabbits it'll take out to 140, 150. A little bit affected by wind, but not too bad. 22 long rifle, foxes out to probably 60, 75 yards. I know some police forces are a bit strange on some calibres, but I would ask the question, any of those people who would get a bit cross, would they stand and let me take a shot at the centre of their forehead with it at 75 yards? The answer is no, because it would kill them stone dead. It's not ideal, but it's quiet. It has its uses. Finally, 22 air rifle, not to be recommended, but my FAC rated one will kill foxes and has killed foxes, but again it's for specific purposes. Very close to houses, somebody's back garden, and again we're not talking about a 12 foot-pound air rifle, although I do know somebody locally who was so incensed when he found a fox taking his chickens that he grabbed his 12 foot-pound day state, let fly at it, which everybody would hold their hands up and say you shouldn't, but if you just seen 30 of your chickens scattered around the ground, torn to pieces, you wouldn't be very happy. And it dropped on the spot, but he'd hit it, it wasn't dead, he'd hit it in the spine and paralysed it instantly, and it just dropped, he told me, and he then finished it off. My Air Arms S410 is rated at about 30 foot-pounds and will put a pellet through a 1-inch deal board, so it will kill a fox. And it's an extremely accurate rifle, but not as a general fox rifle, no, I would never recommend it. Any rifle will kill a fox from 308 downwards, but it's a question of cost. 243, a good all-round deer stroke fox rifle. You pays your money and takes your choice. There's a great deal of interest in small high velocity calibers like the 204 Ruger, and they're very good, but they won't kill a fox any better than a 223.
Well, we are back next week. Please subscribe. Please go to our webpage, fieldsportschannel.tv, where you can click to like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter. Pop your email address into our constant contact form and we'll constantly contact you about our show. Fieldsports Britain, it's at 7 p.m. UK time every Wednesday. This has been Fieldsports Britain, competing with the gale. Good hunting, good shooting, good fishing, and goodbye.